I've been reviewing too much hardware. That's what all tech YouTubers do. Hardware is boring. Let's talk about software. Software which I know and love that's not made by Apple. That's been established by, you know, the existence of this channel. I'd like to talk about one of the most underrated apps on the entire App Store. It's called Over, and it's a photo editing app. Now, wait, just maybe because you don't edit a lot of photos, stick around. Maybe you will after you watch this. And I'm weird. It's just interesting to watch what happens. You know, I could explode at any moment. Stick around, you'll see. Now, Over is an amazing app because it does something that I really look for in software. To me, good software is about finding that balance between customization and user friendliness. Because lots of us use technology. It's everywhere now, right? And some people want an infinite amount of things to tinker with and options to try. And for some other people, having all those options is repulsive because it's confusing. You know, when you put lots of options in front of people, they get confused. So you close off that certain demographic when you have really complicated things. Over has done a fantastic job at making things customizable while still remaining user-friendly on your smartphone and tablet, iPhone and iPad. Of course, what else would there be? So when you open a new project in Over, it immediately gives you 5, on your tablet that is, it'll give you 5 different options. On the phone, it gives you 3, and they may have updated it since you're watching, but I know even if they have updated it, it's still easy. It gives you 5 simple actions of anything you could ever think of to edit a photo with. So you can search the web immediately from within that app to look for PNG files. Yeah, iOS actually registers PNG files. And for those of you who don't know, PNG allows you to make transparent images. That means pictures that you can see through, so it's not just a big square block. Over will filter through Google's images and find the PNGs that are transparent and allow you to add them to your photo. Add another layer. And that's what some of the other options are you can start with, is add an image, a layer of text, artwork, which they offer to you. And there's so many things you can add, and luckily it gives you multiple layers. You can add a layer on top of your background, and then another one, and another, and another, and it just keeps going. And then it has a simple option on the side for you to rearrange each layer, or select a layer and start editing that one. And you can select each specific layer and choose tons of different actions that they make somehow really easy to access just by scrolling through them. My favorite being blending. Blending is essentially masking, which is done on Photoshop all the time, but Photoshop is expensive. That can range from a monthly subscription. Maybe if you just want Photoshop, that's like $10 a month. And if you want more Adobe apps, that can go up to $50 a month. But we'll get into pricing in the end because I want you to keep listening. But blending allows you to erase very specific parts of each photo. For me, this is perfect when you're putting layers on top of each other and you want to mask out certain parts of each picture and you want it to be specific. See, the problem with photo editing apps on most iPhones and iPads is that your finger can only be so specific. With Over, you can zoom in and see each individual pixel and erase them one at a time. And it works super well when you've got the Apple Pencil, the best stylus ever. And you know, people say the Apple Pencil's overpriced, and to be quite honest, it's not. You're getting a great deal for $100. This is easily worth $200. I mean, I'd pay $200 for it, to be honest. And when you're using it with Over, there's nothing quite like it because you can zoom in really close and get really precise blending options, so you don't have to worry about making sure your hand is being used just right. And of course, there's always that undo button to save the day. So blending, an amazing feature. They also have opacity changing. So on each layer, you can decide how much it bleeds in with the other layers. You can turn it all the way off, you can turn it a little bit to give it that cinematic look, and really quickly you can make professional looking things. And again, they keep it simple just by making not too much on the screen and just having a little bar that says opacity up and down. It was just thought out. And of course, there's everything else you'd expect in a photo editing app, like adding filters, they give you plenty, and you know, cropping. Except they make cropping 100 times better because no one really wants to memorize numbers for each aspect ratio. I mean, techies like us know, you know, 16:9, 4:3, but in actuality, why don't we just actually list what this crop tool is going to be used for? So in Over, it says the iPhone crop tool, the iPad crop, and the Apple Watch crop. So if you want to make a picture for your watch face that you'll use on your Apple Watch, you can customize that. And then again, some of us don't want it to be that user-friendly, right? We want the actual aspect ratios. Well, they have that too. Again, being user-friendly and customizable. It's perfect. Yes, this is what I want in my apps. They can anticipate my needs. Now, in terms of adding text in most photo editing apps, they give you like a handful of fonts. Like you can change the size and the color of the font, and that's usually about it. Over gives you complete control over everything. Over everything. See? Yeah, they thought that through too. It's a good name. They thought it through by offering every color imaginable, a whole ton of different fonts and versions of each font. So bold, italics, regular, thin, time, which makes things look really cool fast. And you can also download fonts from their online store. And it's not just fonts, they give you drop shadow control. You want the drop shadow behind the text to be flat? You want it to be dark? You want to turn down the opacity? You want the drop shadow to be yellow or red or any color imaginable? Or do you want the text to start on this side or start from this side? You want to set the size of the text? Just tap on it and then pinch. Everything makes so much sense. I opened this app having never used it before, and I was doing amazing, perfect looking things because it was just thought out to work with you, not against you. You don't have to learn over. Over learns you. That's a little creepy, but it's actually pretty accurate. You can also rotate the text, and this is not just text now, this is every picture. And nudging, a super underrated feature that not a lot of apps have. It gives you 4 arrows, up, down, left, right, that let you move each layer 1 pixel at a time, so you can get everything exactly where it needs to be, and you don't have to worry about having that perfect steady hand to make sure it's right there, and then let go at the right time. No, just nudge it. It makes sense. Of course, there's so much more potential with this app because things you can do with it are infinite, but the bottom line is you're getting 90% of what Photoshop can do on a desktop on your phone or iPad for a grand total of, here's the damage guys, $4. $4 once, and then you're good forever. You get it on your iPad and iPhone, and I think it's on Android, but it's like in beta, plus Android sucks, so don't bother. I love editing pictures, and of course, I make all my thumbnails with Over. In fact, every video thumbnail across not just this channel, but all my channels are made with Over because it's so easy and so accessible, and I've made all of them for the past year now, I think. So I have to give them a shout out for being so awesome. And by the way, I'm not getting paid for this. They didn't contact me or anything. And you know, I'm not getting paid at all. 1,300 subscribers doesn't give you anything on YouTube. I just want the small audience I have currently to know that this little app is incredible and works amazingly on iOS by being user-friendly, customizable, and optimized for the operating system. That is mobile, so that means everything you can do on an iPad Pro, you can do just as easily on like the smallest iPhone. So please check it out. This is your Apple Sheep here, and I will see you in the next one.